G'day and welcome back for more Space Engineers Survival. And my aims for today are pretty simple. We've got iron, which means we need to start building the things that require lots and lots and lots and lots of steel plates. The refinery should be refining iron, and they are. The assembler should be producing steel plates, and it is. And I might just add maybe 6 of these into the queue. Because we don't have many construction components either. I'll look at my inventory, yeah, really don't have many. So we do need a bunch more of those. Not too many more in the way of interior plates. We've got a good few thousand of them. But instead of loading up Igor, going out, doing a little bit, realizing I've run out, having to go back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, I'm not going to do that. I am going to find some little bits and pieces around the base that need some work, or that I'd like to work on, that will fill in some of the time. And one of those things I'm going to do very quickly, and I know I'm probably going to use up some of these steel plates, but I reckon their production rate is going to be higher than my use rate once I start working on designs of things. But one of the things I wanted to use these for is that block there, because it's been driving me nuts every time I go past it. Don't seem to need to do anything there, but there was another block. Was it in here? No, I fixed these, I think. These corner bits I so often miss when I'm going through with the buttercup. Ah, there's one. Because it's actually quite hard to get up into those corners and to see it from the camera views that I get with the buttercup. And it looks like, yeah, that might have been the only one I was missing, which is good. It's good, it's good. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of design work on the grinder pit area. No more adjustments to the grinder for the time being. I've got some tests lined up that I'm going to do very soon. And once I've done those, I might do an update more as a here's everything redone, fixed and working perfectly sort of thing, rather than fiddling with it anymore, because I've had enough of fiddling with that. It works well enough for my uses at the moment, so I'm just going to stick with it. What I plan to do with this area is have a footpath running down the side here that then goes up to an elevated platform here with some control panels and some button panels so that I can directly control the grinder pit as well. And I still want to keep these barricades or railings around the pit so that there is that sort of feeling of some safety consciousness. And to start with, what I need to do is I need to move these stairs because I put them a block too far out. They are occupying part of the main corridor. That is a pothole I do not... Oh. No inventory space. Dang it! Nah. That is a pothole I do not want to run the goose into. Oop. Let's place some of these down because we need those in there as well. Try placing them down a bit better. I'll clear up some inventory room so that I can pick up those stairs. We'll fix this bit first, and then we'll start working out how we're going to do the rest of this little area. There are a few fiddly bits with how I want to design the raised control platform bit. And these are purely aesthetic reasons. I've got no functional reason to want to raise it. If I wanted to make this just purely functional, I'd have it level with the ground, but it's just a bit boring. I think it adds a lot to the interest in an area if we do it that way. So I need to grind away this, then place some stairs back in, and replace our interior wall down here. There we go. No more pothole. And around our little pit, just like we have for the ticks area, we are going to place some railings, like so. And then I need to adjust this flooring, because it's wrong. These interior wall blocks along here, they shouldn't be there. And these ones should be flipped over. Because I want the emissive strips to be on top for any walkways. to kind of be an emergency lighting system sort of thing. It is actually kind of handy because if I do run out of power in the base, these emissive strips will indicate to me where the walls are so that I don't fly into them using my jetpack or do something else silly like that. So weirdly, the occupational health and safety infiltration of my base is actually probably useful. Although I don't run out of power that often, so you probably could just assume that it's never going to happen. But that is almost certainly going to end badly if I do that. So we'll replace all of these, then we'll tear up the other ones. And you can see, doing tasks like this, there's no real quicker way I could do it than doing it by hand, and I am almost certainly building up a nice stock of parts while this is going on. I'm hoping to wait till I get about, oh, what do I reckon? Maybe, what do I reckon? At least 5,000-6,000 plates before I start welding with Igor. I want to be able to do a good big area in one go rather than having to do it all piecemeal. Because connecting them up isn't the easiest thing, but that's not the main reason. It's just be nice to do it all in one go. Unfortunately, these blocks that I'm placing around the edge, Igor can't actually get to in order to weld, so I'll have to do all of them by hand anyway. Alright, let's start by painting these walls to match the rest of the base. So I think that'll be a good filler activity sort of thing. And it's always fun to pull out the airbrush. I've now got the walkway all ready to go, all the way down to here, and I'm going to remove these railings. Oh, why do I always start doing these things with my inventory full? Grr. So I'm going to start by removing these railings, which will be sort of replaced later, I think. What I'm hoping to do is have the elevated sort of platform and have a pathway underneath as well. So let's get back to white, and we'll use a ramp, because I do like ramps for the stuff around the base. Ramp up to there. Then, how are we going to do this? If we have a cube here, and I need to use armor blocks here, because what I would like to do, if we maybe clear up this one. I would like to use these consoles for our design of our little control area. I can't remember which of those ceiling monitors I want. I also want a button panel. Oh no, wait. I'm not going to use that button panel. I reckon we'll use that button panel. To use these consoles, I can't have the flooring made out of these catwalk blocks unless I had them upside down. And if I have them upside down, I can't have anything underneath here to support them, so there'd be a big floating area here. Or I'd end up with mismatching bits, some that are heavy armor, some that are made out of the grating, which could work, but would also mean that I would not be able to put any railings down here for looking like they provide some degree of safety. So I think what I'm going to do is use these armor blocks and then grab these armor slope tips, build them into the wall there, and this way as well. Then you can still walk through here with relative ease, and we can then put another armor block down here and put a, should we use a half slab here, I reckon. That way we can walk through, we've got all that surface to work on up here, and up here. Let's place down our consoles. So if we put a curve here, then we won't need a wall or a railing on that side. Then we put our one with a big display up there. Another curve there. And I think it might look okay. I might be totally wrong and it may not. But it might look okay if we put another curve in here. Although this is going to look a bit funny from this outside point of view. Maybe Instead of that, we'll go with... Why I'm thinking this is going to look funny is that the curve leaves this extra corner piece out there. And I do have to weld these up completely. I suppose I could do something like this one. How's that going to look with the curve on top of it? Then I'll have the overhang instead. No, I think I'm best off with the cube. I think the cube is going to give the least weird looking space up here. Put that there, then put a straight console in here. No wonder. Can I walk past if I put another one there? Oh, I can. This can all be like a big console area. So the idea would be that these button panels will allow us to have direct button controls for the grinder pit, and this one would have cameras and all that sort of stuff. And to make it look a bit more involved, let's put these up here. No, this way I think it needs to be. 1, 2, 3. And then that's where these are going to come in. Because we can put a couple of these screens up here. Maybe one there. One there. We'll have it kind of asymmetrical like that. Yeah. I think this could look good. And if this ends up feeling too cramped at the top of the ramp up here, I could get rid of that and go with something easy like a railing straight. Putting that in there like that. Or really come up with pretty much anything else. I think even the vanilla button panel could work in here. If I put it in there like that, it'd create a railing as well as being buttons. But I think, for now, I'm going to just try and see how this looks. Plus it gives us 8 buttons to work with, not just 4, because of the 2 panels. Yeah. So that's our top bit. Now I've got to redo these railings. So we'll get rid of this diagonal, and we'll go to a straight one there. On the outside wall here, we always have railings running down the side, or at least we will always have, because the tick spot has them. So they continue down there. Then we go around the corner. If we go with them here and here, we can maybe do that. Yeah, I think that's okay. Unfortunately, we can't put any railings along this side because of these blocks above us. We technically don't need them, though, because there is nothing resting up there. Could then put railings across here, and since that command block, since this console block has an attachment point on the back of it, I can also do this. I can place a corner light here, and I can use it to create that glow that I like to try and do around these sorts of consoles. Yeah. Uh-oh. Getting stuck. Oh dear. No, don't get stuck in here. Thank you. This one could be better replaced with this, I think. Even though it's a bit bigger than it needs to be, at least from this side, it'll all look right. So if we weld these up, we're all nice and safe and covered. And then from this outer side, how do things look? Yeah, it's a bit more interesting. I might even turn those into that medium grey that I do the top with. Oh, speaking of medium grey, let's grab it. Since I seem to have lost everything from my colour picker. Oh, it could be this one. Oh, it does look like it's that one. Oh no, this one's just a bit darker. So we'll paint these bits, and we'll try painting those bottom bits that same colour. You can totally see the amount of time I spend doing these sorts of things, how easy it is to use these fine detail builds as ways to fill in time while you're building up your materials. Okay, let's try these in that grey. I think it will make... or at least the middle one. Yeah, I think that makes them stand out a bit less, which works. Yeah. We'll leave it like that. Then, since we've got railings running around that side, let's... a pathway. We can now finish off this with a diagonal here. Grabbing the white again. Flip it around that way, because it is slightly off-center. And that'll line up. And I reckon that is going to look a lot more interesting when it's finished than everything was looking before. And from a distance, it'll look like these displays are actually attached to these railings across here. Although... ooh. I wonder. I'm going to try something. What if, instead of those railings, we use these? If they give an attachment point, they could look even better because they'll look more like power conduits to the displays. It works. Yeah, we'll do that. Depending on how these displays end up, like, oh, I'm really low on hydrogen. Let's fix that. That could have been very deadly, since I am frequently hovering over that grinder pit. I'm not sure how these displays exactly connect. It may look better, and I'll put both of these in so that we just decide once it's all built. It may look better to try and attach them to bars like this. That could work better, I'm not sure. And maybe even get rid of that one and use that to fill in the space. So those two bars look like they're actually specifically for those displays. One of those designs will look better. So we'll pick it once we've got it. And let's paint these bits because that looks funny with it differently coloured. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. How many steel plates have been made while we've been doing all of that little design work? I might weld it up too if there aren't many. Oh. That's not good. What's going on here? Inventory. Oh. Caught exception during execution of script system blah blah something. Index was out of range. Must be non-negative. Parameter name index. Not sure what's going on there. That's the first time that's ever happened. We'll just recompile. Let's see how we go. Alright, let's see how much we got. 2,500. Not very many. Dang. Might reduce the number of those components. I am going to need a bunch more computers, so let's just throw in a bunch of them quickly, since they are really quick to manufacture. Oh, it's caught the exception again. Huh. The sorting of the assembler queue. Huh. Something's gone funny there. Oh, I don't know what's going on. It's never happened before, and seems to be stable at the moment. I'll just keep recompiling it until someone tells me how to fix it, and what I'm doing wrong or what I've broken. Let's just weld up these consoles while we're waiting. I knew they needed a lot of computers. Each one of these is 100 computers, so... it's an expensive little design thing, but something I wanted to do. Alrighty, let's have a look at these monitors now that I've got them set up. And I think we'll stick with the one that's poking out a bit. So we'll get rid of that, and that, and see how it looks. So they do look like they're attached, albeit off to one side to those little brackets. So I think that kind of works. Yeah. I am definitely happy enough with that. Cool. And this is our little control area. Unfortunately, from it, I can't actually directly see the pit. Because these consoles are quite high. There isn't one that's lower, is there? No, that's as low as they go. Oh well. I could have put one of these ones with the seats on this side. Still could, I guess. But it would feel really cramped having the two seats back to back against each other. What I'll do though is I am going to grab these and set them up to trigger stuff. So trigger start, trigger now, stop, trigger now. Then we'll go to groups, we'll go to pistons. And we'll go with retract, and then we'll go with grinders, and we'll go with toggle on off. And then over on this console, what we'll have is the hanger doors. Did I not make a group of those? I swear I've got a group of those. Grinder? Ah, base grinder pit doors. They are no longer hanger doors. So we'll have that as an... Oh, we've got extra buttons, so I'm going to be silly and I'm going to go with an open and a closed. So I can go close the doors. No, that was the open. Whoops. Close the doors and they'll close. Open the doors back up and they'll open. And before I set up the final thing here, what I'm going to do is go interior lights and grab the last four because I'm pretty sure those are the right ones. We're going to turn them to red. Set our blink length to 50% and our blink interval to 0.5 seconds. Let's try that. That should be these ones. Yeah, nice. That looks effectively warning-y enough. That looks like it's a good enough warning setup, so we'll do that. Then we'll have our radius set to 10. Maybe 12. Yeah, now I can see it on stuff. And that's about it. We just need to group it now, which will be Z, light, base. Oops. How did I do my groups for my lights? How did I do the naming? Z lights, safety beacon. Okay. Z lights, grinder, warning, safe. Show block and terminal off. Toggle block off. And now we'll grab our timer blocks. And our start will set up actions, groups, and we'll put those lights on our start. So we'll toggle on. Then we'll go to our stop. We'll set up our actions. And we will turn them off. And now, let's see if all that actually works. So we'll start the grinder pit manually by pressing on this button. Warning lights go on, and when those doors finally open, the warning lights should turn off. You could introduce a second timer in for these lights, so you could either have them so they turn off once the doors are shut, or so that they turn off only once the doors are fully open again. And of course the weird flashing effect you're getting is because the grinder's producing so many lights, like this. Wee. But I think that's kind of cool, having the flashing lights in now. I don't really want to put a warning noise in, as I think that will probably get obnoxious. But I might be able to be convinced that putting in something short that just plays when the grinder pit starts might be interesting. Because I could always very easily put a sound block somewhere in around here. And now, with those lights being adjusted, let's do the ceiling lights. So the lights in here I reckon are just way too bright. So let's dim them a little bit. Down to a 3? 2. Down to a 2. Yeah. Drop them to a 2. And 2. We'll drop their radius down to 18, I reckon. 17? 16? 16 doesn't reach the floor. Oh, a chunk got through the roof. Oops. Oops. That's the first piece I've seen thrown out here. There we go. Flashing lights off. Doors opened. Very nice. And I'm trying to decide whether... What did we do with the tick spot? How were these set up? These are set up to radius of 17. And I reckon these actually need to be brighter. I think they're a bit too dim. The other thing I wanted to do was increase the radius of these up to 8. So I think that'll actually look better as well. Okay, how does that look? About the same, but whenever the spotlight's on, it looks quite cool. But I think just having the orange light spread up the rocks a little bit further, I think is nice. So we'll try and match that roughly here. So that means dropping the intense... That's even on the wrong block. Ugh. Glad I saw that now rather than later. Someone probably noticed it earlier and it's been driving them nuts. At least I noticed it now. So we'll change that to radius 17, intensity 2. We'll do the same for the other ones as well. There we go. Now, I need to find this corner light that's in there. Which will be the last corner light that's built. Or it'll be that one. Is it this one? It is that one. Okay. 85, 215, 255. 85. Maybe we'll go to 4 meters. And the intensity will be right down at... Oh, I can go down to 0. Down 1. 0.5. Yeah, sort of works. I could put another one in up above as well. Oh, I wonder if I can even... Maybe you can do this. Could do that, but it looks ridiculous because it doesn't actually fit there. You'd have to do it on the back of the pipes. Like so. Something like that. To have a downward facing one. But we'll just leave that one in there for now. And... Oh, another... Geez, there's a few chunks that got fired out of that last cycle. Now that we've dimmed the ceiling lights, we are definitely going to need those floor lights around here. So let's get these warning lights in. And I think I've left them painted in white. Yeah, I have. So one light. Another light along here. Then... I think I did 2 and 2. So 2, 2, 3, and we'll build these in. And we'll put the other 4 on the other side. And then we can figure out where we want to put the ones on the back wall as well. So I think we'll need a few around there. So we got those ones. Then maybe what we'll do for this area is put one in the corner here because I can. Just can't get it up against these wall bits. And maybe I'll just do another one on the other corner as well. Yeah, that could do. That probably will do. With these, if I spread them out to about 8 meters, should be perfectly fine. Now, just to remember the color that I've got these set to. 255, 140, 50. Alright. Let's go modify those. So those will be corner lights. And I'm going to guess that they are, since we've got 4 on each side, they'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, nuts. Which ones of these are they? That one. And that one. That one, that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't finish one. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, those were them. Z, lights, grinder, yellow, because I don't have a better name for them right now. Save. So now we set them out to 8 meters, intensity 2, and that's it. Let's have a look at this from a distance. See how that turned out. Yeah. That lighting's alright, and then when the red flashes, it all looks interesting. Could probably put some lights down in the pit as a general background lighting as well though. Maybe if we go with one there and one there. Now all I got to do is actually have the area for the bin chicken to park in and design it. But I'm kind of happy with that. That feels like it's actually somewhat complete. It's not just it's not just scaffolding. So this is the sort of thing I want to keep doing around the base bit by bit, getting areas looking mostly complete. And I think I might just drill a little bit of this too. There we go. That makes me happier. Not just to kill time while I'm waiting for the plates to be built, but because I want to get this place feeling as complete as I can in a bunch of different different spots. So if we go into our cargo container again, and it looks like stuff isn't being moved again, which means I think this programmable block has crashed again. Yep. What I'm going to do is I am going to save as here, episode 59, inventory PB exception, just so that I've got a backup of this with the exception and all the problems and whatever's going on. And I'm going to try a full reload and see if there's a separate issue and it's nothing to do with this script, and maybe it's something else that's going on in the world that a reload might fix. So I will save as again and call this in progress, so that we've got that other one saved separately. Yes, save before quitting, and then we'll come back. Okay, we're back, and we've got 5,400 steel plates. That's not actually too bad. Got 1,000 construction components, so we're slowly accumulating a few bits and pieces. I'm happy, I'm happy. Have I got extra... When did I get extra hydrogen bottles? Oh, I must have picked them up from grinding down some of the wreckage, because some of them do carry carry hydrogen bottles. Alright. While I'm getting just a few more plates, this hole has been something that I really wish I hadn't done since I started building this hangar, because it doesn't fit in with the rest of the design. But way back when it was first noted, I was given a suggestion of how to deal with it that I really quite like. So I think I might do it now. Which was to put vertical windows across this like a vent. So it was sort of a... well, so that it was a vent. And how I'm going to do that, I have not worked out just yet. If I use half blocks around here, it might be a bit of an issue. So it might look funny if I've got them coming off that side. I don't know. So what I was thinking was, if I have... no, I'm out of steel plates. The way I was thinking of doing this was something like filling most of the gap with armor plates and then putting the vertical windows in as vents here. But I don't know that that'll work that way. Maybe it'd be better if I did it this way. I wonder how this will look. And I think doing it that and that. The only thing is, I don't know that this bit of rock that's on it will look any good. Actually, I don't need to use the vertical... I will use the vertical windows, because I think they're different. But I could easily use the catwalks as vent holes as well, since they've got the grill shape in them too. And what I could also do here... Aha! That's what I was trying to figure out. So, with this sort of thing here, I've got the two edges kind of joining up against each other. I should really turn on my light. I am going to change the color. I think I'll go to our white. I don't know if that's the right white, but we'll switch to that. If I go white around the edge of this, it could work better. No, it seems I have no paint on me. Oops, I made a lot of paint. I did not need 14,000 paint. Oh, jeez. Right. Yeah, that was excessive. It's definitely excessive. Will that look any good anyway with the different colour? Felt like the hole looked better than that. Let's reset. Let's get rid of all that and we'll try again. Okay. I think I may have just thought of a better idea. I wonder if I have these this way, if you'll be able to tell that they don't quite cover the gap. Go like that, that and that. Then put one corner there and a corner there. This could work, this could definitely work. And then we go with these on here. Yeah, that could definitely work. Yeah, let's go with this. We'll see how this works once I've welded it up. How does that work? I actually think that... Yeah. I'm reasonably happy with how that turned out. Definitely think it looks better with some rock between the vent and this crossbeam. Without it, it just kind of ends up looking very flat and weird. I don't know how really happy I am with having it flat with these against that. I would have preferred some sort of difference in height, but I don't think I'd be able to do that without having a whole block, which will probably look more weird. Could totally put some sort of glowy colored light on the inside up in the vent space though. But yeah, that's something I've been meaning to do for a very long time, and I'm happy to get that done. And hopefully, in the time that that has worked, we can find out that the... Okay, there's... Izzy! Izzy! Are you able to fix this? I don't know what I've done wrong. If you need me to send you anything to fix this, let me know. But I'm just going to recompile it for now. Because I've apparently broken your script. Oh, 6,000. I reckon that's enough. We have done a little bit of design work. Made a few things pretty. Some things that needed to be made pretty for a very, very long time. And I'm aware this is something that needs to be made pretty and has been waiting for a very long time. And I do have a plan. I'm going to put some beams and things underneath. I'm going to make it look interesting. It's going to have some lights. But I really want to have the goose finished first. So, for the goose, we need to broaden this turntable. That is the next thing to do. And turn off the Butterball's headlights, because I forgot to. Really do need to set up those timers for docking. So, let's broaden this thing out. I think what I'll do is I'll get rid of these catwalk walls from here. And looking at the design, I've kind of got two options here. I could put the catwalks in the middle so they're 3 blocks wide, or I can make these steel catwalk plates 2 blocks wide, and I think I'll go for that, since I kind of want these steel catwalk plates to be the bit where the wheels from the goose end up. So, let's... Don't need those windows anymore, we'll pop our catwalks in there. Line that up the correct way. We'll make that 2 blocks wide, and then extend that out to there. Do that the whole way along. Might just pop these out here so I don't forget and put some of the wrong bits down. Ow! And put one there. With how wide I had this before, it was somewhat nerve-wracking trying to get the goose onto it. I was very worried that at some point the trailer or the goose itself would catch on one of the kind of railings and end up flying off into the roof of the dome. And devastation everywhere. So I'm very pleased to upgrade this straight away after only one use of it with the inappropriate size. Okay, cool. That's ready. Now let's get the goose out of the way. Okay, Igor is loaded up. So let's increase our suspension strength. Let's disconnect. There we go. Now, I am going to grab our wheels group and I'm going to put increase height offset and decrease height offset onto our hotbar. I didn't do this initially because with the old version of the wheels, it always seemed to misbehave slightly, and playing around with the suspension always seemed a safer option. Plus, if you're going to be driving around on anything slightly rough, you're going to want to have the maximum suspension travel distance that you can have, so you don't want to leave your suspension restricted to a certain range. However, Igor is not going to do that. Igor is always going to be on pretty much perfectly flat surfaces. The roughest thing he will ever drive over is the goose's turntable. So, that means I can increase this suspension strength up to something pretty tough, but probably doesn't need to be quite that much. Although it is sinking a little bit. Maybe I will leave it at 45. And then we can drop it down until the welders touch the floor. Let's find that spot. Okay, they're on the floor. Then we raise it up till they're just a little bit off the floor, but should still function. And then we get welding. And now I don't need to mess with the suspension strength, and it shouldn't, as I go along, require those constant changes that I used to make as we went. But I have got it a little too low right now. So let's raise it up a bit more so that we can actually get onto here. Nope, still not far enough. Now, if I drop back down once I'm fully on board, I should be able to weld through and get the stuff underneath. Alright, need to be careful driving off here because these are not built, so I need to make sure that this is going to weld those ones underneath before I drive off the edge of the turntable. Not exactly the easiest thing to drive right now because it's scraping on the ground with the welders. And it's currently resting on the middle welders, so this is not ideal. This is actually somewhat easier to adjust with the suspension strength parameter because it adjusts in bigger increments. So I can drop down and then get up to a clear height with just a single key press. But once I'm not having to drive on the turntable, this really won't be a problem. I'll just have a set height that I need and it's all good. Go, little Igor, go! Might just show little bits of this in real time so you can see that it's actually relatively quick to weld with Igor. Interior blocks are a bit of a pain because they do take a lot longer, but the armor blocks are actually really quick. But since I do have to reverse over the same bit of ground to get back and do another row, I do have a second pass with 2 welders to finish them off, so still not that bad. There we go. So with armor blocks, it is super quick. I'm moving along at almost 2 meters a second. That's incredible paving speed. You could definitely go Frankenstein's monster on Igor, and instead of the snout being made out of small grid blocks, you could probably use an advanced rotor on top of the center conveyor junction at the back there. Put large grid conveyors all the way to the front and then go large grid welders. I reckon it'd be pretty effective if you did that. Or you could just have the entire conveyor system built from large grid blocks and just have the functional part from small grid. But if you did that, you could... Oh, if you did that, you could put a piston onto... a piston as the conversion, like near the conversion point, and just ever so slightly lift up or lower that whole rig, dependent on what height you need everything to reach. Plus, the increased range of the large grid welders would mean you wouldn't need them quite so close to the floor anyway. So you'd be able to get away with a little more clearance and go over some slightly more uneven armor plating. But I would certainly recommend building something like this if you ever have to weld up as much floor space as I'm doing. Because it is the quickest in-game, non-cheaty way I've ever managed to construct. Well, that wasn't just a giant wall of welders. I think we're pretty close to running out. Yeah, still got over 1,000 steel plates left. So I reckon we'll just push on a little bit further. As we've gotten 2 parking spots fully built. I'm very happy with this. I think the next bit I might do would be some of the rooftop bits so that we can get some light back here and actually move the goose in. Because the only reason I haven't moved it in is because it's very, very dark back here. And as a few people found amusing, I did do that because I didn't want... Oh, yeah, gyros helped me there. I had actually put one of the things in the ditch. Oh. I was worried about steel plates, but I think I might have run out of interior plate. Yes, I have. Okay. Well, 2 full parking spots completed. The turntable is enlarged to its appropriate size so that it can actually fit the goose. There's another little thing in here that I want to get done that I've been wanting to do for a while, which is put the door in here that I intended to put in ages ago. So we'll whack that in. And I just want to try and make everywhere feel a little bit more finished properly. So that when we're walking around we can be like, oh yeah, that bit's all done. I don't need to touch it. I won't be playing with it again. Unless something breaks and I need to change it, I just won't ever have to. And that just that wandering into the tick spot made me think of something that I should probably put in here. Where could I put one? I could put one just here. I want a transformer box in here. I made the other one red, didn't I? Did I? I think I did. No, I made it yellow, 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 yellow. Could make it red though. I wonder what it'll look like red. Let's use the red from the bin chicken. Yeah, I think that's better. Add that little extra touch of a different colour for that bit more depth. Sometimes you can overdo it by adding too many other colours. I think this will be a good change. So I'll make that one red, I'll grab the parts and we'll get the next one. So we'll put a red transformer box maybe over here so it's a slightly different spot. And more relevant to where all the power related things are here. That's another tiny battery for the base as well. There we go. Can I still walk through here though? Yep, easily. Cool. I like it, I like it. Might pop a door in down here too. Where those timers for the grinder pit go. I feel really good about having gotten a few little pieces around the base finished up and made some good progress on finishing up this grinder area. I do need to get the area for the bin chicken completed. We've made some good progress on building the goose's parking area. So next time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my lights. I'm going to get the buttercup and I'm going to weld up these roof struts and get some light back here, get the goose in there, and get the control system set up so that we can remotely control the turntable easily from within the goose. Actually, we probably just need it to be able to be controlled from within the goose. I may put some manual controls outside it, but really it just needs to be controllable from the goose itself, since anytime I'm parked on here, I should be driving the goose. So I'll be turning it for that. And I don't have 2 trucks, 2 front parts of the goose, so I'll only have 1 device that actually needs to control it. If I've driven in here, parked the trailer, disconnected, I'm going to drive back out here and I'm going to want to control it while I'm on it. So I think I'll just go for controls in the goose itself. But that is what I want to do next time. And depending how long that takes, I may also try and do some finishing touches inside these two bays and possibly get some of this area for the bin chicken finished as well. But that's the sort of stuff I want to kind of make some moves on. Get us some bits that we're like, yeah, that is finished. I'm happy with how that looks. That's got all the little details. It's a complete part of the base. And that'll involve removing stuff like this as well. Really, I think I'm just happy that I finally put that vent in. That was an idea I was given 20 episodes ago, something like that. And I think it's actually worked out pretty well. So there's all of that on the Goose's parking spot to go, and plenty more. So I'll see you then.